You know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 Well. It's another Monday. Another Monday, and it's time for How It All Works Convos and Collabs. But here's the thing. This is our season finale. This is it. This is the last one for the season. We are going to take a break in the month of September. I want to make sure I say that multiple times throughout the show today, because I don't want to get those messages on multiple places like, hey, where's the live show? I missed it. But yeah, we're going to be taking a break in the month of December. But man, this has been a wild ride. Just so much that we have experienced together. In fact, we have a recap video that will launch on the channel right after the show goes off air today. So right after the show goes off air today, we got a recap video, and we want to make sure you guys get a chance to see that. In fact, that email will go out to folks who are supporters on BMAC in the middle of the show today. So that's pretty cool. I see folks are already chiming in the chat. I've got Tom Buck here. I wonder what could have brought Tom Buck out tonight. I just wonder. I'm excited to see Tom Buck here, man. Somebody that I've followed, but of course, my guest is somebody that I've followed as well. And I'm excited to be able to chat with her and excited to introduce her to the How It All Works audience. We're gonna have a great time tonight. Let me just talk a little. Take a second. Okay, I mentioned BMAC, right? So that's an acronym for Buy Me a Coffee. So buymeacoffee.com/KirkRNugent, where we're doing our membership. And yes, there are benefits. So there's some benefits. Those who are BMAC supporters already got the link for the after party on Zoom. So they will be able to connect with myself and Heather on Zoom after the show and have a little, wrap up. Last week's after party was kind of fire. Stephanie gave way more in the after party than she did in the show. So keep that in mind. So we're excited about that, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of it. Plus, this is the way that you guys can support. A lot of people, they ask that question: how can I support what you're doing, man? You something video you shared, something you did, help me with my video journey, and how can I support? Well, we got the page here. So if you want to be able to support what we're doing, we got some goals on there. We got some extras that you can purchase. Go ahead and check those out. Man, these comments are flying today. I love it. Oh, Align is here. It's so good to see you. I know you haven't been able to jump on live with us for a little bit, so I'm glad to see that you're here today. The other thing I want to really encourage folks to do, man, is to sign up for the mailing list. We're going to be doing a giveaway of Ecamm, like a 1-year subscription of Ecamm. Let me just say that one more time. A full 1-year subscription of Ecamm, and the details are going to be in the mailing list. So if you want to be able to get in on that giveaway, join the mailing list. We're going to be doing a masterclass on Ecamm, masterclass on StreamYard, a masterclass on remote production work. So those details will also be in the mailing list, and we will also be selecting people to join those masterclasses for free, and the details will be in the mailing list. Signup.howitallworks.com is the link, and I'm hoping see David Hunt is already out there. This is my guy. This is one of my mods. He's already out there doing his good work. I appreciate you, David. So he's already got the BMAC link up there, and he's going to get our other link up there in just a second. I see you out there, Sammy Superstar. That is so cool. Glad you're able to come through and hang out with us today. Second thing that we got going on. This is starting on Thursday, and it goes for the entire month of September, right? All four Thursdays in the month of September, we're going to be doing Ultra Live Academy. This is a space that is I guess live stream adjacent. So it's an online engagement platform for churches, specifically made for churches by churches. This is a really cool endeavor, and I'm going to be teaching how to build engagement for your ministry. So I'm excited about that. I wanted to make sure you are aware of it, because you still got a day or two to sign up. So make sure you check that out, man. I was watching Building Blocks. Is it Building Blocks? No, I was watching ENN, right? Ecamm News Network with Fulgens and Anna, and they had Doc Rock on today. Just, their show ends like right as my show begins. So I was just watching a few minutes of that, and they were talking about Leap Into Live. Somebody was trying to win a free ticket. I stopped giving away free tickets for Leap Into Live because I realized what the price was. Folks, you got to invest in yourself. This is going to be a phenomenal conference. You want to be there, and I'm going to be talking about the art of the interview. I'm going to be giving some very practical steps on how to have a bomb interview. To not just, so some people are like, oh, let me book the guest, because they feel like the guest is going to get you to this thing. But if you don't deliver on what you intend for your audience to learn, if you don't craft your conversation in a way that your audience can walk away saying, yep, he delivered on what he said he would, or what she said she would, right? then that actually creates a disconnect, and you can actually end up breaking that trust relationship with your audience. You don't want to do that. So we're going to be talking about that in my session, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of it. Very, very, very affordable, right? Very affordable. Less than a t-shirt to register for Leap Into Live. So go ahead and do that. I'm always making sure that you guys are aware that we are growing on Amazon Live. I actually put together a graphic to show what we've been able to do. I think there's 3 different tiers to Amazon Live, and one of them is like Insider, and then another one is, I guess, Rising Star. I can't remember what it is, but that 3rd tier, I'm almost there. And in order to get to that tier, you know how much product you have to have moved? $5,000. I'm like 80% of the way. And I've only done 10 live streams. So this is pretty cool, man. So check us out on Amazon Live, man. Listen, I see David Hunt he's typing like a madman. He's got all our links going in the chat. Thank you so much, David, for doing that. But we came here to hear from our guest. And I absolutely love this quote. This is something that I do for all my guests. I just want to quote, and I love her quote because this is something that I feel like needs to be a mantra for all our content creators, our live streamers. Just create more. Just create more. I was in a financial conference yesterday, and they were talking about what's the difference. Let me see. Do I have my notes still? What they were talking about, the difference between what Elon Musk and Bezos and Richard Branson were able to do that the others were not able to do, and they talked about the difference between consumers and creators, and how the trio of those three juggernauts approached space flight and space exploration with a creator mindset. I just love that phrase, just create more. And we're going to dive into that, and we're going to bring on our guest right after our intro video. So buckle up and let's figure out how it all works. Woohoo! I am so excited to have you on the show, man. How it all works, family. Listen, I want you to give a huge applause, huge welcome to our guest for today, Heather Ramirez. How are you?
Good. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Kirk. Appreciate it.
Man, I'm listen. This is a treat for me. This is a treat for me because there's so many people out there that call themselves YouTube coaches, right? But they don't necessarily have the pedigree. They don't have the story to match. And one of the things I try to teach folks in my coaching sessions is your experiences will give credibility to what you're teaching people, right? And I think anybody that has followed you, and if you haven't, folks, the link is in the description of the video, both on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you take a second to check it out. Even for our replay squad, do that, and make sure you hit us up in the comments. But if anybody has been following you for a while, that they would know you're not new to this. You are absolutely true to this. I mean, you're some of the stuff that you've done public on screen on YouTube is just amazing. And that journey that we've been able to follow for years is just phenomenal. So one of the things that we do, I know I have not given you a chance to speak, but I wanted to drop this question on here so that you can kind of talk for a second. This is my audience's favorite question. They just love this. These 2 questions are non-negotiable. I can't change them. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and your relationship to live streaming. We're going to get to your backstory in the next question, but here I want people to know what you're currently doing and how you're currently serving people.
Yeah, so my name is Heather. I'm a YouTube coach. I help people share their stories and build their brands on YouTube. And when it comes to live streaming, I do 3 live streams a week. On Tuesdays, I have from 1 to 100, where I talk about how to build a YouTube community in the enthusiasm economy. And that's helping you
Nice.
make a business, around doing what you love. And then on Thursdays, I have the couples table, which is a live stream that I do with my co-host and husband that I met on YouTube, Tom Buck. And then on Fridays, I have the YouTube Huddle Up, which is basically, a coaching session with me and anyone who wants to join. It's open to anybody, where it's accountability. We have a check-in, we do Q&As, we do channel reviews. It's just a place where you can have kind of like support and accountability when building your YouTube channel.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm a
Amazing.
big fan of live streaming.
Amazing. I love the huddle up. I do a midweek huddle as well. Very similar in format and purpose, actually. Really just answering questions. It's like a help cast. Just, hey, what do you want to talk about? But I love the accountability piece of that as well. I think that's absolutely critical for this journey. I mean, so that is a great answer to the question. I'm still checking my comments here. People are coming through. That microphone though, Kirk, check out that mic. I'm looking at it and I'm telling you, I'm getting a little jealous here. That mic is. Let me put you on the call out here. That mic is
This.
purple. Oh,
I just opened this today. I know. It's a glossy purple. We've got matte blue here with a blue windscreen. I'm digging it.
I almost want to like zoom in. That is so great. Anyway, but yes, before, because we can run down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll just say this for the audience. I've gotten at least 4 or 5 lines of notes just from chatting with Heather in the pre-show. So make sure you guys have your pen and paper out, because it's going to be a clinic tonight. Here's our second question. And here I want you to take some time, if so that people, I think that, as we share some of the other things we're going to get into, the final 2 questions, the real meat of the video today, our discussion today, our conversation today, I think it's always critical for people to know where these experiences come from and how you've arrived at some of the standpoints and experience and the expertise that you currently hold. And that's why we start with that, who are you? Help people understand a little bit. But then what's your live stream / content creator story? I mean, everybody had a, origin story, or how they got started and how things bloomed. And for some of us, it was like, no, I was just kind of putting stuff on YouTube to as a holder for some of my content. But then for others, it's like, no, I really launched out at this. And so we want to hear from you. So just take a second, take as much time as you please, and just kind of share with us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so I actually got into YouTube in 2016, so 5 years ago. And basically what I wanted to do was document this decision that I had decided to do, which is quit my job to start a business to promote digital literacy. And that's a whole long story. But basically, I have always been like a huge fan of digital media, social media, all of these tools. The fact that everybody is one click away and we can communicate, connect, and collaborate with anyone, anywhere, anytime is something that I will never stop having an appreciation for. And so 5 years ago, I was working at a school. Yeah, it was like for middle school and high school students, and all the parents and teachers were like, get off the internet and it's like super dangerous. And I was like, yeah, but I'm in marketing and my entire career is off of this. Like, I don't think that it's fair that you say like, this is such a bad thing, when yes, we need to learn how to navigate the internet responsibly, but you could, how do we educate and empower people to utilize digital media to achieve meaningful goals? And that was my mission. I had 0 experience with entrepreneurship and starting a business. I was supposed to be pre-med. So like literally I had nobody. And I was like, I just had this gut feeling like I want to try to do this. And I was like, I'm going to document this journey on YouTube, because either way, it'll be a fun thing for me to look back on.
Yeah.
And so I just started vlogging. And what I found was that the best way to teach people about how to use these tools was actually through my YouTube channel, because I didn't realize that this was going to happen, because it really was just a way for me to kind of do blogging, but faster.
Faster.
because I would
Right.
just talk to the camera.
Exactly. Cheat
Yeah,
code.
but then people like all around the world started resonating like very deeply. Like that's the part that really kind of made me shift my mindset when it came to YouTube, because I was like, okay, these aren't people who are just like, hey, what's up? Like cool video or whatever. It's like, no, no, no. I'm thinking about starting a business too, and my parents aren't being supportive, or like I have no idea where to start, and seeing you is inspiring me to try doing this and blah blah blah. And I was like, wow, this is powerful, like even more than I thought.
Wow.
And so, fast forward, now I'm a YouTube coach, and this is what I do. Like I made it my mission to help people share their stories. I believe that every person has a story worth sharing. And
Wow.
I have a soft spot for people who don't look like the typical YouTube archetype.
Yes.
People who don't, like and if we can even, take it a step further and have it turn into a side hustle or a business, even better, because, if you can build an audience on YouTube, you're totally set up to scale, and you can, set up a business.
There's so much that was shared there, and even still, I mean, you're still giving us just like very much the Cliff Notes version, and probably not even Cliff Notes, but because you have, I mean, 5 years in YouTube, terms is right. No, wait, 2016, 5 years, right? So 5 years in YouTube terms is a very long time. It's almost like dog years, right?
Yeah.
So but you've and then of course you said you met your husband through YouTube. I mean, it's just amazing. One of the things that my parents also said that they were profoundly touched by was the reactions of people. When I would show them some of the comments, they're like, "This is not a game. These are real life people that you're touching with your YouTube channel." And that I guess it just it catches people off guard. I don't know if you can speak to that a little bit, but it almost seems like, well, I'm doing this thing in this quote unquote virtual space, and yes, I know that there are views, and my subscriber count is rising. I'm in the thousands now, but I guess I never really thought that there would be real people on the other end of that keyboard typing these comments.
I think the culture has shifted a lot, especially, in the past 5 years. It is a totally different. If I told someone that I met my husband on YouTube 5 years ago, that would have raised eyebrows. Like, are you sure he's cool? Now it's like, okay, it's normal to meet someone on the internet. And, like I said, the culture's evolved. But
right.
I think, especially if you're new to content creation, your experience with being on the internet is social media. And so because you're connected with people that you already know, you've had your meaningful connections offline in person, these are your friends, these are your family, all that. But it's always a very, interesting experience when you have genuine connections with people that you'll probably never meet. And I think that like, it's like, it can be so much more profound, because it's like it's unexpected. You don't and especially because you're connecting with people that like really resonate with your content, because YouTube or whatever platform is obviously serving it, connecting you too, because of the thing that you have in common. So it's kind of like, my husband Tom, there's no way we would have ever met. We had zero friends in common. Like we would have never crossed paths, but because it was literally the YouTube algorithm that brought us together. So,
wow.
The fact that we can, meet, get married, start a business together because of YouTube, that's the power of the connection that's possible on these platforms. And so like, I will always be the biggest YouTube advocate, and like, this is what you can do with this.
Wow.
Because it's changed my life.
One of the things that, and what I hope that the audience. Let me go back one scene here. I hope my audience is taking notes. I hope that you're locked in, you're engaged, and I hope you've shared. Right, I didn't get a chance to say that earlier, but I hope you've shared. I hope you've tagged somebody. We're in for a pretty cool ride here today. Especially for those that have been following my channel for a while, and you may or may not be familiar with Heather. I'm telling you, we're sitting at the feet of someone who really has walked this road. One of the things I wanted to say here, and this is kind of sort of off script, but also in the vein of what you've been talking about, is there is a component to success on YouTube that kind of requires you to be a little bit vulnerable. It's one of the three things I always tell people to make sure you don't, edit out the vulnerability, because those are the real true moments where people can make a connection that is real deep, right? And one of the things I know that you've experienced on YouTube is, of course, having those vulnerable videos and not editing it out and leaving them in there. That just talk to us a little bit about that decision, because I know a lot of people struggle with, man, I need to edit that part out, or even if they went live and they had an emotional moment, they want to pull it down because they want to present this polished thing. But talk a little bit about yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So, okay, here's how this came about. I didn't realize that this is what was happening, but this is just how it happened. So when I first started, like my very first videos on YouTube, me quitting my job, I was 30. Okay. So I quit my career and I was like, I'm going to try doing this YouTube thing and figuring out how to start a business. Meanwhile, everyone in my life is getting married, buying a house, getting promoted, having kids, doing this path that I was like, forget that. I'm going to go try this YouTube thing. And so for me, YouTube was actually the place where I felt like I could be myself. And that's I'm so lucky that I had that experience, because I think for everyone else, again, it goes back to creating content and building a presence based on your experience with social media, which is you're already connected with the people that you know, and you want to show the cool part. Here's what I'm up to. Here's something that I'm excited to share. You're not necessarily excited to show when you get into your first car accident, you run out of money as you're trying to build a business, you're, maybe bumping heads, or you're frustrated with this creative endeavor that you've dedicated yourself to.
Wow.
Why would you even think to share that? But for me, that was the only place that I could go. And that's the stuff that resonated with everybody. So that's when I learned very quickly firsthand that, even though we're used to, I don't even think it's a conscious thing. It's not like we, I think some people really want to make sure that they look polished and, they put on this persona of look how successful I am. But I think that we're just used to showing the good side. Why would you show, the negative part? But to me, especially, it was very important that I document the journey as authentically as possible. And I knew that I would always make it through whatever tough time. So it became part of the story, and my successes would not be what they are if not for the low point I was at.
Oh, man,
every time,
that's that's shirtable. Sorry, I'm just cutting you off. I'm going back. I'm typing right now, so you go ahead and keep talking. But my successes would not be what they are were it not for the low points. I think that's just amazing. That's amazing.
And I think I know that, that's why I was asking you if your audience is predominantly entrepreneurs, because I get that, I'm not saying cry on camera or whatever, but there is the beauty of YouTube is the you part, is the fact that we can be authentic, and this is our chance to connect with our people. And it's more, you can have a closer connection than your peers in real life because of this thing that you're excited about. But it's you kind of have to give it a chance. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
No. It's so good. What you're saying is so good, because I think one of the things that I tried to explain this to some friends as well, and tell me if you resonate with this. But your Facebook audience is basically your in-person real life friends. But your YouTube audience, people that follow me on YouTube, that have subscribed, that are actively watching my videos week to week and are commenting and messaging me and booking consults, they're not my quote unquote real life friends, right? So this is an audience that has been created around a significant passion of mine. And so there is going to be a connection with them that is, I wouldn't say better or worse, but just different than your connection with your real in life people. I mean, you went to school with them, high school, or their family, or whatever. You met them through college or work or whatever. So you have this group of people and friends But there are people like you and Tom that I met in the eCam community, and it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
We have this shared thing that has brought us together. So there's that passion piece that I think is critical there as well.
Yeah, and I think what I'm starting to see, especially after 2020, is that the digital space is really, I don't know, becoming more legitimate in terms of, okay, take out the internet. Where would you meet people? At church, at the gym? You start a new hobby, you take a little night class or something. It's the same thing, like we're just doing it online. But like we're starting a creative endeavor, and there's something, there's something about like picking up a new hobby and then doing it with other people who get it. Try explaining YouTube to somebody like your neighbor. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing? Like, where are you posting this?" Yeah. But like to talk with you, it's like you totally get it. You appreciate this microphone. Guy next door, not gonna care.
Not gonna care.
And like, yeah. And there is like, that's real to me. That's real friendship. That's like, these are my friends that I'm meeting, and especially like for career changers or people who are like, who are not necessarily bored into a world with the internet, right? So like I'm born 1985. Everyone before me, like the internet, you don't know a world without the internet, right? So I think like for everyone else, it's kind of, we see this, it's almost like we're discovering how to build friendships for the first time. Right. And that goes with the brand building, the content that you're putting out, the clients that you're connecting with, your customers, your audience, like all of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's honestly what it is. It's like people connect with people. So to bring it back, the more authentic that you can be, the more you that you can be, the more genuine your connection is going to be.
That's and just what you said there. No, I was just going to say what you said right there is. I'm just throwing to the comment that I just put on screen from Align. She's like, the beauty of YouTube is the you. And I think the more you can be is the more deep that connection is with the people that begin to follow you. That's so amazing. What we've been able to hear and what you've been able to share with us so far is just, I mean, it's been gold to me. I love that. Listen, we got some good comments coming here. Digital space is more legitimate. David Hunt is in the comments. Kerwin is saying digital space is evolving and we're still in the infancy. Totally agree. Very well said, Kerwin. Man, listen, one of the things that I love about what you do also is you're empowering people. You give them perspective. You give them a framework for success. And of course, it's going to be tailored because each person is different, not slightly, but just different, period. But one of the things that I have found to be a critical component for those that are going to be successful is the recognition that you need to invest in yourself. The recognition that you need to, join that course or go to that conference or join that Facebook group and put your hand up and ask some questions. I don't know if you have anything you want to share about that, but I'm saying this as I lead into our Leap Into Live promo. And then I also want to ask the audience a question. But yeah, there's that component to me is one that is very much important in terms of whether or not this is just going to be a hobby or a side thing, or you're going to actually recognize its true value and its impact.
There are digital advocates and hardcore YouTube freaks like me that are obsessed and make it their business to know everything that there is to know about this platform to empower others to get on board. Right. So, I mean, straight up 2016, I invested in Think Media, Sean Cannell's Video Ranking Academy, because I was like, I need to know it. I didn't know anyone who was doing YouTube, and especially back then, it was like, what is YouTube? Like, how do you even get started? And even more so, there are so many different resources and coaches and trainers in the digital space that, like I said, have made it their business, and they genuinely care because they understand the power and the potential of the platform. So, 100%, regardless of what your budget is, your experience level, like, you know, what your goals are, you could definitely find a resource that is perfect for what you're trying to achieve. And I definitely think it's worth investing. You know, just like there's stuff that, like, as much as my philosophy as a coach is that, you know, it's different for everybody. Like, the advice I would give would be different based on the person. That's why I call myself a coach, because it really is like about your story, your preferences, your goals, your message, all of that. But there's still a rubric. There's still a language of YouTube, you know, that's like, regardless of your niche and all of that, you still, you have to create good thumbnails. You have to have a stream, or, you know, I think you have to do live streaming. I think you have to understand what YouTube tags are. I think you have to understand, like, you know, how to write a good video description, all those things. So definitely worth, like, learning from someone who has done it.
Man, that is so good. I literally just finished up Grow with Video Live on Friday. So and just I'm looking at signing up for, maybe not Video Ranking Academy, but there's another product that they have. I just can't remember the name right now. But yes, that's so good to hear. And I think that this is the other piece that we always want to make sure that folks understand, that there is, you know, two things at play here. Of course, there's live streaming, but then there's just content creation. But I, like you, firmly believe that the two go together. I think you need to you need to have some content that people can just find through the algorithm and watch. But then you also need to have some times where you're live and where you're engaging with your audience. This is why I do the midweek huddle regularly, and I've actually taken a step further with my business to really focus on the live piece, because I really feel like small businesses, entrepreneurs, and particularly faith-based entities as well, even nonprofits, can benefit from going live, showcasing what they do. And then, of course, there's a whole other group now that knows that you have this level of expertise. And that increases your clientele and increases your bottom line. So it's like a huge marketing investment that I'm taking people through the process to find where they can go live and what's their topic, what's their thing, what's their question that they answer. So that's a whole other component. But I love the merge of the two that you shared there. It's a viewpoint that I share with you, right? The one that we have in common.
So my entire marketing career was in nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
So, like, when it comes to faith-based organizations, nonprofits, you know, small business, I'm like, yeah, you need to be doing live streaming for sure. Yeah. Because it's community-based.
And that's what you're building. Right. Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. Listen, we have a question for the audience. Where are we at? Yep. So right at the time here. We're right on track today. This is a question I want to ask the audience before we dive into the two main things that we want to ask Heather tonight. And so the question for you guys, if you haven't read it already, if you don't know, that what I'm doing right now is called stalling, because I know there's a delay between you guys and us. What I'm doing right now is called stalling. So yes, the audience question for tonight is, what platform are you intentionally growing on? And I want to focus on that term, intentional. I have chosen to intentionally grow on YouTube. That doesn't mean that, you know, I know there's some of you that are watching on Facebook, not many, but my platforms of intentional growth are both YouTube and Amazon Live. Actually, that's a new thing. That's a whole nother conversation, but definitely one that just kind of merges well. It's an organic venture for me, just based on what I'm doing. But yeah, those are the two platforms for me. What about you? I think we already know, but what about you, Heather? What platform are you intentionally growing on?
Well, okay, so YouTube for sure. And I think in terms of, you know, the content creation distribution platforms that are out there, I know I'm biased, but like, I think YouTube's still the best. But like we were talking offline or in the pre-show, very excited about Mighty Networks.
Excellent. So, yeah. Mighty Networks, definitely one to check out. I will be checking it out as well. MightyNetworks.com, guys. That's another one. We're not going to dive into it here, but I'm waiting to see some of the comments come through. We got people watching. I see one person has said YouTube. YouTube is where you're intentionally growing. Thank you for that, David Hunt. Let me put this question down. I wonder if there are anybody else, but man, this is one of the reasons why I put intentional in that question is because there can be growth that is unintentional. So every now and again, I'll throw stuff on Instagram, but I try to keep Instagram more for just me, just the, random, quirky family, just Kirk type stuff. So that's where that is. And, people keep on saying, create a How It All Works handle on Instagram. I can't be bothered. But at any rate, you do have to make that decision. That's a personal thing that people do have to come up with them for themselves. I mean, what makes sense for you? I do think that that's a really great part of the conversation as well. And so we have some comments coming in now. So El Jefe Reviews says YouTube for sure. Kerwin is asking, what are the requirements?
Is, killing it.
Oh, listen, I'm glad to see that he's here. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. What are the requirements for Amazon Live, Kerwin? I'm gonna have to get back to you, but it's basically if you're already, I would say if you're monetized or whatever the requirements are for Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, if you meet those, Amazon will give you that as credit and add you to the influencer program. So hopefully that answers the question for you. YouTube, but what was the other network, Heather? I think Albert's asking about Mighty Networks. Mighty Networks, MIGHTYNEW. Sorry, NETWORKS. It's not networks is not spelled like How It All Works. So just it's a real O in there. You got to put the O in there, okay? Not the E for like what I'm doing. Okay, cool. I see you responded to him in the comments. You guys are quicker than me. I see, and I'm trying on Inspirational Connection TV says, I'm trying on YouTube. I'm very new to YouTube. I think that's still great. I think it's just there's an excitement of starting on YouTube that is amazing. Now I have to, full disclosure, while I have done a couple different rounds of this YouTube thing, I did a not sports, but fitness journey. I used to be 240 pounds, and I kind of video blogged my way through doing the Insanity Challenge by
oh wow,
what's the guy's name now? Sean T. Sean T did this Insanity Challenge. It's a 60-day challenge, and I did a video every day. And those videos are actually still on my YouTube channel. I have not changed.
Oh wow,
so they're still there. So if you want to go back and see a slightly larger version of Kirk, you can do that. But so this is my second go round, and I started back in April of last year with about 80 subscribers. And, so it's just been an amazing journey. And I just think I'm saying this for Inspirational Connection TV. It's still okay to start now. And it's a great space to be in. And plug into whatever, your communities, plug in and ask the questions, soak up all the information you can like a sponge. I think it's such a great place to be. I see David put the link out there. It's such a great place to be right now, to be checking out YouTube as a platform for yourself. MightyNetworks.com is there. Moving away from FB,
just to clarify.
Yeah.
So Mighty Networks is not a distribution platform. So it's not a place for you to go and just post videos. It's a place for once you build your community on YouTube and you want to take the next step with them, then you use the tool that is Mighty Networks to get them to connect, and you can do online courses and masterminds and stuff like that.
I love it. There's a lot of people are using Facebook groups for that, and then there's another huge group like me that's using Kajabi. But I love I just from what I've seen, I'm always looking for new tools, so it's great. You don't happen to have a link or anything like that for Mighty Networks, do you? Because I don't want to have people going over there and not giving you the affiliate.
I do.
Oh man, we got to get the affiliate out there. I'll give me the affiliate, and I'll make sure that we get your affiliate stuff out there. No, we don't do. People always say that to me, like, "Oh, can I share my affiliate thing?" I'm like, "Yes, you can."
There it is.
Okay, cool. You put it in the chat?
I did put it in the chat.
Oh, you're gonna have to probably send it to me. I don't think anybody can put links except for my moderators. Yeah. So I don't. If you send it to me, I don't know how, but I will.
That's good.
Okay, I'll get it. I'll put it in the description. So for my replay squad, we'll have it in the description of the video. For those that are watching live right now, just check back tomorrow. We'll have her link, and for those that don't understand how the affiliate thing works, it's not going to change your price if you decide to go with it. But if you do decide to go with it, she will get a little kickback, and that's something nice, right? These are one of the ways that we can support one another. in these digital streets. Listen, we are coming up on 7:40, which means we need to get to these last two questions. And the first one,
Let's go.
The first one is pretty dope. What are some of your top reasons you personally use YouTube? And I think this is such a great follow-up to the question of where are you intentionally growing, and for people like international content who's new, right? They're International Connection TV, who's new and starting out on YouTube. But what are some of your, like, this is why I love YouTube? And you said it just a second ago. It's like, I'm not, I don't think it's biased actually, but you said, I still think YouTube is one of the best. But what comes to mind when you think about the reasons why YouTube is your platform of choice?
Curation. I'm just writing these down before I forget. Okay, so first thing is the search engine.
Listen, you got to do it.
Yeah,
Search engine.
so like,
Excellent.
okay, Facebook, Instagram, everything else, those are social media platforms. They're meant to connect you with people that you already know, and then, you know, one degree off, so friends of friends. Whereas it's there is no social media. There's no like, hey, let's connect with my like mom, dad, brother, cousin, whatever. It's like you're literally connecting with the world, right? Based off of a topic of interest, and that's where the search engine comes in. And I love it because it's like you can really, I don't think there's any other platform that does that, where you can like type in, okay, how do I start a business? And then I can immediately connect with a business coach, other people who are aspiring entrepreneurs like me, people who are on the same journey, like all of that. You could just really plug into your community immediately. So that's reason number one. Community building. I think that like, I still don't think that anything compares. I've even heard numbers on TikTok. And like, you know, at some point, I think we should ask ourselves, do the likes and the views and these like numbers actually translate into impact, right? So especially if you're a business owner, does it translate into a sale? If you're a coach, does it translate into a client? If you are passionate about helping people, you know, you're a fitness coach, you're helping people try to lose weight, does your, 100,000 views on TikTok actually translate into people being more fit and healthy? And I think that with Instagram and these other platforms, it takes so long. It takes like so many touch points and so much content to be able to make the same impact that I can in one live stream. Because seriously, like if someone jumps in at the right time when I'm asking the right question and they're in that right mindset,
right,
like they just have to stick around.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying it's like, that simple. Obviously, YouTube, I've been at this for 5 years. It's a long game, but I also think that it's never been easier to jump in like now, because you have people like me, you have people, there's resources, there's Leap Into Live, there's so many resources to help you. And then the other part that I really love about YouTube is the curation. So like if I can't tell you how many times this happens where I see something on Twitter and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tom, check out this tweet. Oops, I accidentally swiped and refreshed the feed, and I don't know
it's gone.
How I'm going to find that tweet or that Instagram post or that Facebook thing. And it's like, because I didn't save it or archive it, whatever, it's gone forever. I don't even remember whose account it was on.
Oh my, that has happened to me more times than I can count.
So many times. On YouTube though, look, not only is there a history tab, so I can literally watch every video that I've watched before, but the creator can make playlists. So, if you come to my channel, I have a playlist like, hey, if you're just getting started on YouTube, click here, start with these videos out of the hundreds that I have on my channel. Yeah. But then also viewers can create their own playlist. So they can curate, like maybe there's a nugget from your stream, a nugget from my channel, a nugget from like someone else's. Yeah.
So good.
Exactly.
So good. Yes.
And then they can share that. So like, I still think that, YouTube is second to none for so many. I can go on.
No, but I think these are really critical things, reasons. One of the things that on Amazon Live, one of the things that I'm constantly telling folks is the reason why, right? There's always a reason why. It's like, oh, why did you choose this over that? Well, there's a story here. And this is one of why I think it's so cool that the way you're answering the question is you're giving people that context. You're giving people the larger framework. I mean, there's nothing more impactful than what you said just a second ago in terms of, swiping and then all of a sudden that thing is gone, right? And you can't find it for the life of you. I mean, and this is what I love about YouTube, the term evergreen content. There's a video that I created last year that is still my top performing video. I was not trying. I literally did it for a friend. I just wanted to show him real quick how to do this one thing, change this one setting in StreamYard. It's a 6-minute video. It is just rolling. And again, why is that? Because it's still answering somebody's question. And as long as it's in that search algorithm and people are searching for that answer, it's going to keep on coming up. So I couldn't agree with you more, man. Yeah.
There's one more thing to this that I want to add.
Please.
It's that when people are using social media platforms, including TikTok, it is a very passive experience compared to on YouTube, where it is very active. The viewer is a lot more empowered because usually people know what they want to watch. They're like, okay, something's broken, I need to find something out, or I'm inspired right now, I need to watch more motivational content or something like that. Whereas on Facebook, TikTok, it's habitual. It's like, I'm waiting in line, so I'm going to pull out the phone and just scroll. And you're not necessarily in the mindset of this is the content that I want to watch. So that passive versus active in terms of consumer behavior is, game changing for the impact that you can make on the people that see your content.
Even from the perspective of somebody has arrived at your video because they were looking for an answer to something, right? I mean, a lot of or they were suggested by YouTube when they were asking a question, right? So there's you arrive at the video in a very different headspace. The way you said that in terms of active versus passive is just really gold. I'm hoping that folks are writing this stuff down here. This is really good because and look, the point of the show isn't necessarily to bring everybody over to the YouTube side. It's just, listen, you need to know. You really got to know what you're getting into. Make an informed decision, right? Make an informed decision. And I think still in 2021, going into 2022, YouTube is a sure bet. And it's not too late is what I also want people to walk away with.
Yes.
Look, this is what El Jefe is saying. That's how I found Heather. YouTube search. Look at that. That is amazing, and that's what we love. That's what we love. Let me get this last question up here because there's a last question for you, but then there's one more after this. How can live streaming be used to build community? This is rhetorical. It's quite literally my entire platform. But no, I want to hear your perspective on that. Because here we are, we're live streaming. There are people in the comments. We're trying to engage them as best we can. We're having a conversation around a topic I think people want to hear. The answers to these questions that we've posed. Is YouTube still relevant? Why? And how can you build a community with live streaming? So talk to us a little bit from your perspective. What do you think about that?
So when it comes to YouTube, I think of search for building an audience, and I think of live streaming for building a community, right? So an audience member, someone who is just following, subscribing, that's not necessarily a community member because you're just consuming, you're just viewing, right? But as soon as you join and you become an active participant, an active community member, you're part of the community. That is a very active, state of being a part of someone's channel, right? So
absolutely.
The fact that it goes without saying that, okay, obviously the fact that we can, interact in real time, people can participate, but they can also influence where the live stream goes. And people really being a part. Yeah. People really like being a part of something. What's the best way? So if we think of, going back to digital spaces, right? Mm-hmm. What I think the YouTube videos do, especially in search, is it matches this person's looking for this thing. Here's the room where they're talking about that. So it directs that viewer into the right room, but then in the room, you're in charge of the party, and that's where the live streams come in, because it's okay, now that you're here, let's talk, let's hang out, let's work, let's brainstorm, let's do our thing, and it's not just about me, it's also about you. How let's talk about you, and you can have that interaction. So I think that live streaming, I really do think that they have to go hand in hand, because
Yeah.
to build a channel just off of live streaming is hard, because now you don't have the people that are, you don't
Right.
have the content that's like connecting. Yeah. I do think that you need to have some videos that are in search to bring in the audience, but then to take the audience from like just subscriber to community member, like, hey,
Wow.
they're a fan now. That's where the live stream component comes in.
And this is, you see, I want my faith-based folks to really listen to the terminology that's being used, because this is quite literally what the church, I want to say has been doing, but I probably need to say should be doing, because you want to take them from audience to community, and I just love the way that you said that, because it's so true. I firmly believe that you can't do one without the other. You need the content videos. So your live stream is, to clarify some of the things. I can't tell you how many other video ideas I've gotten from the live stream, because in the live stream, people ask a question in a way that I didn't think about it. I'm like, I need to redo that video or do another one to answer it in that perspective, because that's where the community piece comes in. I see Anselm Paul says, yes, I'm listening. This is one of my a good friend of mine. Adrian Langdon is here as well. Thank you guys for coming through and hanging out, man. Heather,
hello.
This has been phenomenal. I see there's just one question here. I want to grab this one question before I go to the collab question. He says, Albert's asking, next to YouTube, what's your second live streaming environment or community venue? I'm assuming that that's Mighty Networks, but let me be quiet.
No, I only live stream to YouTube. So I didn't say this in the beginning, but I actually have 2 YouTube channels. So one of them, Heather Ramirez, which is just my name, that's my YouTube coaching channel. That's like, if you want to build a YouTube channel, I have that's what that channel is for. Heather Just Create is a vlog that I started back in 2016, where I'm documenting the life and business as a full-time content creator. So that is very much like me, like my story, and now very much my husband's as well, our story of being full-time content creators on YouTube.
Nice.
So very different purposes, and there is a lot of overlap in the audience, but there's a lot of people that watch us that don't necessarily care to start their own YouTube channel. So there is also a difference. But other than that, I'm only live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah,
there's a part of me that wants to start a Twitch channel at some point to do video games, but that's like when I find all the free time in the world. Yeah.
That is so good. I mean, I'm looking at the comments, and Gary said, first, so yeah, Anselm is agreeing. Adrian Langdon says, this is good stuff. But Gary says, I never made the connection between content videos and live stream. Thanks. And see, this is what I mean when I say the question, the mindset, the space that people come to your video with on YouTube is totally different. And so here it is. And that's, again, trying to deliver on the promise of what we said we were going to answer in the notes, in the description, in the title, all that stuff. And it's all about making sure that two-way connection, two-way street is open. But man, this has been phenomenal. Man, comments are still rolling through here. Anselm said he shared this to his church page. Inspirational Connection TV says, I will love to have both of you as guests on my stream. Any chance I can do an interview with you guys? Man, Inspirational TV, I can't speak for Heather, but drop me an email at info@howitallworks, info@howitallworks. WERKS.
Yeah, down. Shoot me an email. Well, if you go to my YouTube channel, all my contact info is there. You just pick a platform and send me a DM.
Yeah, that's probably the easier way to do it as well. But absolutely, reach out and let's see if we can make that happen. I would love that. Good to hear, David. Let's see. Y'all are speaking my language. Align says, SEO. You're speaking my language. I love that. I'm hoping some of you guys have already made your way over to buymeacoffee.com to grab the after party tickets, because that is coming up quick. And while I have that on screen, so all you got to do is go right here, Convos and Collabs 8:30 after party. Look, that's all we got to do is click right there and say, get this, right? That's not letting me do it because it's my page, so I can't buy it from my own page. But that's where that is. I also wanted to highlight this page as well. This is actually A ton of resources are on this page. I'm telling you guys that you need to check it out. HeatherJustCreate.com. A lot of different things that she's got there, and of course, I gravitate toward the tools page. The tools I use, I love this. I'm definitely going to steal this idea because this is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great, and because you have one space where you've curated this content and you can share it with people and they can go there and get it for themselves. So that's pretty cool. So I want to make sure that I highlight that as well. That link is in the description of the video today. Heather, the final question. Stop. The final question is, what video topic could we collab on? This is Convos and Collabs, so we have this conversation between two creators, two live streamers, but what could we collab on? And so this is a dual question. I'm asking you, but I'm also asking the audience as well. What could we collab on? What would be the video topic that anything come to mind?
Oh yeah, totally. So I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like I just did a live stream on Facebook that I almost took down because I felt like really weird about it. But so I don't like Facebook, right? But I have to go in there because I'm part of the eCam group, and there's some Facebook groups that are cool, but I'm connected to a lot of people that still do a very traditional kind of marketing in terms of like local networking, passing out the business cards, like all the things. And then like I see them trying to come over to YouTube, but I just feel like they're like spamming their links everywhere and not in like a, hey, I'm letting you know that I'm going live, but just like relentless, like every single video, I'm going to go to every Facebook group and just like drop the link. And like,
wow,
they're doing it. They're using a very Facebook approach to YouTube. So, and that's mostly business owners, like small business owners, nonprofits. So like something there, I feel like there's something with the small business nonprofits using YouTube to do marketing, but like the right way.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
Hearing it from content creators, not just marketers.
So I'm typing. So you say that one. So say it one more time. I'm trying to get it into a concise.
How to use YouTube and live streaming for small businesses and nonprofits. That's
I love it.
Something there. That's what
I love it, and I love the specificity as well. Yes, I love it.
Because live streaming for sure is something that everyone is like terrified to do.
And that's where I mentioned this in the lead in for the show today. Talking about this conference that I did yesterday for a client where this guy was on there, and within 10 minutes of him talking about how he does investing and what he does with clients, 4 people in the comments section said, how do we get in contact with this guy so we can become his client? I want him to advise me financially, right? And I immediately said to the guy who was sitting next to me, I'm like, this is what it's all about right here. Like,
there you go.
These people are so sold, they don't need a reference. They don't need to see another ad.
But it is the reference. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. They've experienced it live, and that's the power of live streaming. So I think that is dope. I'm not even taking any more. I see any more of suggestions. I love this idea. You'll get a link from me really soon because I want to strike while the iron is hot. Building a vibrant community, impact versus networking. I love that, Gary. I love that, Gary. I love all what I'm seeing happening here in the comments.
That's a good one.
So we are right at the end of our time, and I want to give Heather a second to just kind of plug your hustle, your thing. Where can people find you, follow you? What are some of the things you have coming up next? Any events that you're speaking at? Any projects or coaching sessions or classes? Whatever. I know we talked about some of your live streams, but how can people consume where you're creating? Right.
So if you want to get started with YouTube, like I said, I have my YouTube channel. It's just my name, Heather Ramirez. So that'd be a great place to start. I have 3 live streams, which I already talked about. But the thing that I'm excited about, Tom and I actually are speaking at Leap Into Live. So definitely get your tickets if you haven't already. There's no excuse, like $20. So like,
definitely
do it. and then you can catch the replays. But also, we have our community on Mighty Networks. It's called Just Create More. You can find it at justcreatemore.com. But this is a community for dedicated and passionate YouTube creators. So definitely, if you're looking to if you're looking to do YouTube with support, like with other people who are doing it with you, they get the language, they speak the language, they get what you're doing. Right. We're trying to build something different that goes beyond just an online course and goes beyond just like coaching. It's a really cool community that we've got going on there. So you can check us out at justcreatemore.com.
That's amazing. Justcreatemore.com. Heather, I just want to say a personal word of thanks for coming through, hanging out today, and sharing from your expertise, from your experiences, and having this conversation. I'm looking forward to the collab video as well. And on behalf of the HIAW community, we will be having you back in season 2.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kirk. I so appreciate it. And shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for a fun chat.
Absolutely. And folks, don't go anywhere, because we're gonna have Heather with us in the after party as well. Look, I wanted to showcase this quick video. It is going to go live here pretty soon on the channel, but I wanted to showcase this for you as we get ready to close. And once this video plays, the outro video will play and we will be done. But I just wanted to say again, season 1 has been a blast of Convos and Collabs. And this video kind of walks us through memory lane, if you will. So many different creators, live streamers, coaches, all marketing experts, all kinds, edutainers. We had so many people on the show and so many nuggets of wisdom. And I hope that this video is something that you will share. It's not only going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on all the social media platforms, because we're hoping that folks see this and get a little interested in some of the conversations that we've been able to have over the course of this season. I thank everybody that's been in the comments and just kind of talking it up with us. But I want to thank you guys for rocking with How It All Works for this season. We got some really cool things coming up in October. Stay tuned to the mailing list. We have new newsletter that's going to be coming out on September 1st. So definitely stay tuned for the mailing list for some of those details, but a lot of new things coming up in October. And with that, I want to say it's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping that somewhere in the video today we got you a little closer to figuring out how it all works. And I'll see you in the next video. Yes. Oh man, I have been looking forward to this one for quite some time, you guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
I love geeking out on all things tech and marketing and software and apps, because I just think it's so easy for people to be able to show up now and to create an online presence.
Wherever you are in your life in that season, you have to prioritize.
Yeah.
You have to be true to you and be true to your heart first. And it goes back to what you said, right? Getting a PhD in you.
You shouldn't be super techie about it. What's most important is that we can hear you, we can see you, and we're not distracted by what's going on around you. Those are the limitations for me with the live stream. And you have to if you're gonna splurge on anything, it better be some high-speed internet.
A lot of people put them at odds, and it's like, well, if it's technology, it's very cold. But here we are on screen, right? We're having a full-on conversation.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And this is why, if you look at positions that are starting to pop up, they're hiring digital pastors, because this whole live streaming thing is not going to end. It's a new wave. And so they're hiring digital pastors, and what these digital pastors are, they are the people who are behind the scenes handling all the live stream people.
What technology are you using? If they say they're on a Mac, if they're on a PC, then we would share with them, step into and consider using Ecamm, because it's going to work on your Mac, and it's something you could step into, grow with, and take to the next level production.
Something around forming your messaging during your live stream to kind of maybe promote something you're working on. How do you tell the story behind what you're creating outside of saying, I just dropped my joint is live, go buy it. Without saying that, how can you structure a message that would propel people to buy without you telling them to go smack the buy button?
One of the things that I talk about when it comes to live streaming, right, and just the non-technical side is how immersive can you have your live streaming experience, right? Engagement, immersive, experience, alliteration with the E's because my name is Alicio, so all these E words, you know what I'm saying?
The two most highest contrasting colors are black and white. If you got a dark background, put a white logo on it. You got a white background, put a black logo on it. Those are the two most high contrasting colors you have.
So I went in kicking and screaming. I knew that the value was there, and I just got by with a ton of help from a lot of friends who were there to encourage me and, help me get up and running and show me what was possible. And I'm now having a blast with it.
And it's amazing to watch some of the people that come in, what they talk about. Some people are talking about $20,000 Rolexes on the stream. So like I said, you don't have to own products. You can just talk about products that you just like or want.
On there.
And, read the descriptions on the page and make it fun and interactive. So there's so many different ways.
You could do different tone of voices when it's crafting the copy for it. Yes. So I've done I've done The Rock. Yes, I've done Dwayne Johnson. I've done Gary Vaynerchuk. I've done Lisa Nichols. I'll type in things in there like humor, whatever it is, just to see what type of personality it'll give back to me.
What ifs can be the biggest creativity killer. The only guarantee I'm going to make you is if we don't ever do it, nobody's going to watch. Beyond that, dude, there ain't no guarantees.
And the artificial light begins to lift you primarily. Number one is to lift you out of the shadow, and it's to bring you to exposure for your camera to read and see your face, right? To read the light and be able to see your face.
Like the software needs time to catch up. The internet needs time to catch up. And all you have to do is not be lazy and take time to train your viewers. If you happen to watch this on replay, know that the song is 333. Just drip and just go. Anybody at LGL knows exactly what to do. The song is 333 on the button. Just slide in. Boom. Hey, welcome to the show. It's me, Doc. I got Kirk here. We're doing it. Boom. Game over.
We're getting reports from Google, and it's interesting. And we were talking about numbers earlier. Don't always look at the numbers because the numbers never really tell you who you're really impacting.
That's it.
There are people that actually teach these things. Confidence on camera. I love the tips. I love the tools. I love the tricks. I love it all. And I think there is a science to it.
People will learn how to do something and then they'll realize, man, it's a lot of work. And so maybe I can just pay somebody because people have a value to their time, right?
The whole time. Now listen, Southern Baptist Church, if y'all watching, y'all done heard me do Bible study after Bible study on Zoom and nobody said, Pastor, your mic sucks. Nobody said you sound great on Sundays, but you sound bad in Zoom, because to them, it was kind of like, we're not really hearing the EQ, the bass and all of that stuff. But the thing was, now it matters. And I'm like, oh, snap, I got to fix this.
Questions I get from people that are just doing Zoom calls, like, I got to do a Zoom meeting. How can I make my Zoom meeting look better? And using those tips I just gave you will definitely level you up. People will still ask you now, how are you doing that? Why does your camera look so good?
Tutoring services, or you have an ebook or a course that you want to create. You can create that and build that into your system so that over time, as you share this message, you start making money and you can build a business so that eventually, if your goal is to leave your job and do this full time, so that you have the option of doing that.
I tell folks, you are the brand. You are the brand. The camera is not the brand, right? The name of your show is not the brand. Your lights are not the brand. Your mic is not the brand.